Hi everybody, I'm Melissa and welcome to Sentimental Salvage and Design, and today we are going to be using IOD molds, Roycycled decoupage paper, and we're going to be flipping a fun little thrift project. Okay, so these I picked up at a thrift store. They're tiny little like cutting boards, paddles. And I have previously made these castings using the Iron Orchid Designs Chanticleer mold. So I made these using the two-part resin, the quick set resin, and we are going to put them and make a pair out of these little boards. They fit on there perfectly. But first, we are going to use Roycycled's Fall Flock masterboard. So this was in the latest release, and it has all these fun fall birds on it, but I'm just going to grab pieces that have kind of like a good background that I can use. So that's what I'm going to pull from today for these. Okay. All right, so those are ready. They're just roughly cut out to the right shape. But now we are going to prep these with white paint. You can use any kind of white paint. I'm gonna give those a quick little scuff sand because they're kind of slippery. For wood projects and pretty much anything that I'm wanting to paint, I always tend to want to give it a little bit of a scuff sand first. It's not necessary with most paint lines now, but I just think it's a good practice to have when you're painting anything. If you're going to go through the effort of painting it, just do the prep. It doesn't take a bunch of time, so. Okay, let's just give these a simple coat of white paint. And one more coat. I'm just gonna give my paint a little bit of water, thin it out a little bit. Okay, now you can see on the edges here, there's paint. And I'm just taking a baby wipe and I'm going to clean that off. Okay. Now we are going to decoupage. So either of these can go on whichever one. And first we are going to, I'm going to mist these. That'll help the fibers in the paper. Did I get paint on that one? Oh no, that's part of it. I'm using Liquitex matte medium as a decoupage medium. And I'm going to use the same brush. Clean out the white paint. I'm just cleaning excess medium out of that hole just with a Q-tip. Make sure I have a good even coat of the decoupage medium on there. When you mist the paper first, you get a nice smooth application on there with no wrinkles. It's awesome. And I'm going to seal over it. And while the paper is still wet, I'm just going to poke that hole in there. It gives you a nice cleaner, a nice cleaner hole if you do it while the paper is still wet. Otherwise it'll just tear all raggedy and it doesn't look clean. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna let those dry completely and really good before I sand the excess paper off. These are nice and dry now. And I'm going to just sand off this edge. All this excess paper, we're just going to sand that off. Okay, now, where did I put, oh, they're there. We're going to paint these guys. And I'm gonna go with something kind of dark. Dark and moody, of course. It'll kind of go with the fall theme of this paper. So let's get my just protect my table a little bit. And I picked up some Annie Sloan paints because I'm giving it a go. So let's give it a go. I've got Honfleur and Paprika red. What else do I have here? Let's just go with those ones for now. I do have this one, Arliss. I don't know how to say these names yet. I have one more, but now I don't know where I put it. Oh, French linen. No, I won't need that one. So let's give those a go. Why not, right? We'll do a base with this one first. Let's give it a good stir. I've never used Annie Sloan paints. I know of her paints, obviously. She is the original when it comes to chalk paint. She is who we have to thank for this. But I went kind of all in with DIY when I first started with the more boutique paints. But now DIY is not something I can access here in Canada easily anymore. I've carried the paint line for 7 years, and our distributor quit earlier this year, and there was no plan for us to move forward as retailers, and the DIY warehouse, the paint warehouse, will not ship to Canada. It's like a hard no, which is frustrating to say the least for Canadian stockists, because now to bring it in, we're limited to getting it shipped to a US address and then shipping it across the border. And then the prices went all crazy. So unfortunately, I truly love that paint line. I just like how it works. I like what I'm able to create with it, but it's just not available for us anymore. So what I do have in stock is all I have. I can't get any more, at least not in my capabilities as a small retailer. I can't bring in the amounts to make it worthwhile without a Canadian distributor now. So it is what it is. There's nothing I can really do about that. It's out of my control. So unfortunately, that's where that stands. So I'm looking at, you've probably, I need a little brush. So you've probably noticed in the last 8 months or so, I've started using other products. I've been trying to find alternatives to the products that I have known and used and loved for over 7 years now. And I have found some. I am the DIY's Clear Patina, which is something that I have used almost exclusively as a decoupage medium. I have now replaced that with Liquitex's matte medium. I do find it works just as well. I have no issues with it whatsoever. And it's pretty easily accessible for people. I am thinking about bringing it in myself, but for now, I do have links that I'll put in the description of this video for you to use. And as far as the paint goes, I haven't really, as far as the blending and that kind of stuff that I really like to do when I'm doing furniture, I haven't really experimented a whole lot with that yet. So that's still, DIY paint is pretty unique with that reactivation characteristic and everything, but I'm sure I'll find something. It's just unfortunate that we have lost that. When you put your heart and soul into a paint line for 7 years and that's just it. You can't get it anymore. But it's okay. Onward and upward, right? I really like this color. And I'm liking how it's going on. I didn't think I was not going to like the paint. It's just, it's always a little bit nerve-wracking when you have to move out of your comfort zone and try a whole, well, not necessarily try, but just start using a whole new product line or try to find something that's going to work. You have to hone the skills because every product works differently, right? I am really liking this color though. It's a really nice brown. It's not orangey. It's just really nice. And I'm happy with the coverage on these white resin. Okay, now we've got complete coverage with the Honfleur, and now I want to do some dry brushing with the Paprika red. You just need a little bit of paint when you're doing dry brushing, so dab a little bit on your brush and then kind of wipe it off. And then you just lightly brush it over those high points and it just highlights it and it makes a really nice effect and gives a lot of depth in the color. we've got, these guys are all painted, and I used Annie Sloan's paint colors Honfleur and Paprika red. The Paprika red I just dry brushed over the top. So I think these turned out really good. They look good and they match. The colors really went well with these little boards. So this is Ranger ink in ground espresso. And I'm just going to take this and go around the edges just to give a little bit of a finish on those edges. Okay. I have, this is Fusion's copper wax. Let's give it a go. Might not be enough. So there's a little bit of a shimmer in there now. But I think it's still going to need a gold on the top. But this is giving it some depth. It's all about layers, right? Plus this will seal the chalk paint. So I don't have to go back in and seal that. Okay, now we'll glue these guys on here. And then I'm just gonna go over with some gilded wax in a gold, because I think the gold will tie into the background color here. I'm going to give these a quick sand first. Just makes me feel like I'll have better adhesion. I like them. So now just to brighten it up a little bit, we're going to use, this is DIY's gilding wax. So whatever you have, Rub and Buff or any kind of a gold wax, I think will do. And I'm just going to use my finger and just kind of brush over. To highlight his detail. goes on a little heavy in spots, you can just kind of wipe it back. See how that ties him in compared to no gilding wax and the gilding wax. I think that just kind of gives you more of a cohesive look. I think, anyways. There. So that started out as those simple little breadboards or cutting boards, or well, not a cutting board, they're so tiny. And 2 of the Chanticleer molds from IOD, and they fit perfectly on there. And now there are these handsome little fall themed pieces with Royce's fall flock masterboard paper on the background. They look really good. All right, friends, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time.